So I'm on my way down to our hunting property right now, and what I'm going to do today, I figured I'd give you a little breakdown before I go into the other parts. What I'm going to do today, check on my food plots real quick, make sure those are growing well, which they should be. I do have cell cams on them, and just make sure there's no weeds getting out of control. And then I bought 5 apple trees, which are currently in the bed of my truck with my ATV. So I'm going to put those kind of in a couple different spots throughout the property, 1 or 2 in each spot. I do have more that I want to put down there, but that's pretty much the capacity for what I can carry in my truck today. I don't have a trailer, so my 4-wheeler is back there, chainsaw, those apple trees, that kind of stuff. I'm unloading all that down there, and then I've got a friend from my childhood, actually, grew up with his family. I threw a post up on Facebook looking for some, free pallets, and have to be in perfect shape, and I'm going to go unload this stuff, run over to his house and pick up those pallets, and then using those pallets just to create a square around the apple trees, screw them together. It'll keep the deer off of them, and let them kind of grow. They're pretty juvenile trees, so I don't think they'll be producing apples for probably at least a couple of years. But you start doing that now, 2 years from now, they'll start, they get big enough, strong enough to, take the cages off. And then, 1, they're producing apples, but 2, also where I'm planning on putting them along the food plot, they're perfect for licking branches, scrape trees, rub trees, whatever you want to call them, mock scrapes, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably put a rope off of them in a couple years, put a mock scrape underneath, that way they're not actually destroying the tree, but still gives you a shot location or a shot opportunity on that food plot, draws them to the edge. One thing I noticed with my larger food plot is that if I'm on that side that I like to hunt on because there's lots of cover, this is what I call food plot 1. It's the biggest one I've got. It's also the first one that I did, hence the name 1. But either way, I think that the problem I've encountered is that if I am on the outside edges of that food plot to the other side, if the deer happen to graze the other side or cruise the other side of that, that's 45, 50 yards. Personally, I'm not going to take that shot. That's just a little bit too far. There's so much that can happen in that 40 to 50 yards as far as the deer's movement goes. I want to be at 30 yards or less ideally. Am I capable of shooting that far? Absolutely. I shoot my bow out to 90 to 100 yards, but that's on a target that doesn't move, doesn't react, doesn't spin, any of that kind of stuff. And I have, unfortunately, as probably every bow hunter has, I have hit deer and not killed them. And I've had it happen twice now, and it is the worst feeling ever. I don't enjoy that feeling. I don't want to have that happen again. So unfortunately, I had that happen last year. I hit the biggest buck I have ever seen in my life in person. Monster buck. I nicknamed him Schizo, like schizophrenic. Reason I named him that is because his rack was just every which direction. No symmetry, 17 total points, massive body. Had to be a 4 or 5 year old, huge body. And I aimed low at about 25 yards. I thought he was at 20. It all kind of happened so fast I didn't have a chance to range check. Either way, I aimed low, expected him to drop. He did not drop. Unfortunately, I aimed a little bit too low, plus he was a little bit further away than I had anticipated, and ended up hitting him pretty much just through the brisket, through the chest. Had blood for 70, 80 yards, and then not a drop afterwards. Went back the next day, checked more, absolutely nothing, never found him. Had him on camera a couple weeks later, and then nothing after that, so I'm hoping he survived. He was a pretty unique looking deer, so I'm hoping that if he shows up this year, I'll be able to identify him. But either way, so back to the apple trees. I might have a little bit of ADHD, so I get sidetracked. With the apple trees, I am looking to put those on the side that I prefer to hunt on, that has more cover. That way, it draws the deer to that side of the food plot. Now, again, this is a 2, 3, 4 year plan. This is not something that I'm looking to, utilize this year during this hunting season. But this property is in our family. This property hopefully, knock on wood, is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I am investing in the long-term outcome of the property, which is, it's hard to do that. You know, I'm sacrificing some immediate changes, not even sacrificing, but you know, I'm making changes that are not going to have any real effect on the property for at least a couple of years. So I am, you know, starting to build these things out. Again, I want to put more apple trees down there, probably some pear trees, no partridges though, if anybody picks up on that reference. You know, I want to keep building that property. I've created a lot of bedding with hinge cutting and clearing different parts of the property, like new growth come in. Added in a ton of food as far as food plots go. I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food plots now, and then I have the 2 sections of field that I mentioned in the previous video, which I'm going to check on today. Hopefully that clover is starting to come in. It's been a few weeks now, so it definitely should be. The only concern I have with that is that the farmers now in today's world, unfortunately, just douse everything in chemicals. And I'm just hoping that whatever they use doesn't just completely destroy any possibility of something growing in there. You know, and I guess I shouldn't talk. I use you know, different pesticides and herbicides on my food plots as well, but I know what they're using is pretty potent stuff. So either way, gonna check. Hopefully those are growing. If so, I'll get some pictures and some videos of that to throw in the video later on. But really excited to do the apple tree thing. I've been wanting to do that for a couple of years. I just never pulled the trigger on it. And in full transparency, I happen to be at Lowe's. I was picking up some stuff with my brother-in-law for a new business he's opening. He needed to use my truck, and I saw, you know, apple trees at a pretty reasonable price, so I picked a bunch up and grabbed them. I'm sure there's better options out there, but they were $35 a tree, and you can't really beat that. So as long as they don't die on me. We tried to do one at my house, and I, you know, never put a cage or anything around it, and unfortunately the rabbits just ate at the base of it so much that it killed the tree within a week of having it there. And again, it was a very, you know, it was a 4-foot tall apple tree. It wasn't even close to producing apples yet, but that's why I'm making sure here that I'm keeping the deer away from them, putting these pallets around. So stay tuned later in the video, and I'll show you kind of where I'm putting the trees, why I'm putting them there, and the cages after I get those around them. So stay tuned. All right, I want to do a quick video on these apple trees. I am in food plot 1 right now. Sorry, I'm sweating my butt off. Here is one of the trees. Tree number 2 is down there. And then I've got a scrape tree right there, cell camera in the background. So I wanted to do a little why behind why I place these where I place these, because that is my big thing in doing these videos, is the why behind everything. So behind me here is, there we go. Travel corridor right there, comes down to this food plot. We've got another travel area, comes out through here from over my right shoulder over here. Oh, this is harder than it looks, over there. And then another trail that comes down here, all comes into this food plot right here. And then as you come down this food plot, so this is the clover plot that I am going to be turning to beets and greens here towards the end of the month. This is the thick stuff over here that I like to hunt out of. I've got access ways to get into that no matter what the wind is. Again, here's a scrape tree. I'm gonna hang a rope off that today. That tree is dead. I put it in there dead. It's concreted into the ground. I've got a mock scrape right there that I'm gonna freshen up a little bit, and sorry, that's from all the water. There's the mock scrape right there. I'm gonna freshen that up, put the rope so it's hanging off this branch right over top of that. And then my cell camera here was having some connection issues. I don't know why. I shut it off, turn it back on. It seems to be working now. So as I get down to where this other tree is at, man, it is humid as hell today. I'm going to show you why I put this one here. Same reason as the first one, just a slightly different look. But here we are. So here is the first tree that I put in down here, right here. I'm going to get some rope around it just to kind of straighten it up. Just a little uneven coming out of the ground, but travel corridor down that way, and I see them cruise in and out of here all the time. Had it happen a lot during the rut last year. There's berries on both sides. Not sure if you can see that in the video, but on this side, I've got another trail comes out of that thick stuff right here, comes down, and then over here, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Same thing down here. And again, the reason for putting that there, I mean, you can see all the tracks through here. This is a hot area for travel. Got some fresh clover coming up here. But again, travel through there. They hop that little creek right there, which as you can see, has been raining a lot lately. And same thing right here. So they travel all through here, come down to this food plot, and then they kind of cruise up and down this food plot, or just cut across it, depending on the situation. But either way, I'm trying to give them a reason to stop. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to flip my camera. There we go. I'm trying to give them a reason to stop no matter what part of the food plot they come across. And then I can sit right in this middle area. There's any one of a dozen trees in there that I can get into that are all within 20 yards of this, which puts any shot in this main area within 30 yards. Because this is not, 10 yards across. So again, I'm just trying to make it as effective as possible. Give them, no matter what area they come into, even if they hit that tree that's further down, chances are they're going to turn and cruise down this food plot, puts them in shooting range. They come out of the brush, they hit that mock scrape, come down the food plot, they're going to be in shooting range. Sorry, not paying attention to where my camera's pointed. So either way, they're going to hit this food plot, and there's I'm making it so that there's almost a guaranteed chance that they're going to come within shooting range. Of a bow. I am a bow hunter. I do not hunt with a rifle. So if you hunted over this with a rifle, it'd be like shooting fish in a barrel. So either way, I'm going to freshen up that scrape real quick. I got 3 more trees to put in different parts of the property. Again, our property is kind of divided into 3 sections by the 2 roads that run here, or run through here. So I'm going to go put those other trees in different areas. I'll take some videos of those as well and keep on moving. So, all right. So just going to go over the scrape real quick. I think this is how easy it can be right there. Some rope I already had. It's 3/8 inch rope. I put a bunch of strands over it. Tie a little knot around to secure the ends, frayed up the ends. That gives you lots of surface area for them to hit, to hold scent. Roughed up the ground underneath right there with a rake. Hey, if I got to pee later, I'll come back and pee in it. If I don't, no worries. That's how easy it is to do a mock scrape. It doesn't have to be fancy. I think a lot of hunters and a lot of companies out there like really overcomplicate things to get you to buy more products. This is a piece of rope from Lowe's that I already had. I was going to use it for something else, but noticed that tree was kind of fading off, so I wanted to use it for that scrape. And it's perfect. I mean, I've used that in a different spot as well. I've also bought hemp rope and used that. I've bought the, Hodag or whatever. I've bought all that stuff before, but you can make do with, something as simple as a piece of rope like that. Tying a bunch of strands over it, loosen up those ends so there's something for the scent to grab onto and hold it, and then just tie it off so it kind of stays in a clump together at the bottom. And I put that about chest height on me, so probably 4.5, 5 feet off the ground. Makes it so they're going to have to pick their head up a little bit. It's going to give you a great view in front of the camera. It's going to give you some great videos. It's also going to give you a shot opportunity. All right, tree number 3 is in. Pardon the hood. It started raining pretty good, which was not expected. Tree number 3 is in, so that is right here. That is on the edge of a food plot that I just put in, which is actually, I'm going to flip the camera around here in a second. It's doing awesome. Really excited about it. So let's see here. So zoom out a little bit. So all of this is now clover and a little bit of brassica in there. Obviously it's the trim down side, not over here. That's not part of it, but just this laneway right here. So it's this nice little plateau spot. My big plot where I put those other 2 trees is right down there. This goes down, and then that's all the thick stuff I was talking about earlier. So it's a spot where if they do skirt around that food plot, they tend to cruise through here. And then this is a ravine or a ridge that goes down into a creek down there. So I wanted to give them a spot to stop up here for a second. That's the thought process behind it. But I'm putting this apple tree right on the side. I plan on accessing this if I'm hunting this spot, coming up that ridge. So I'm in kind of a blind spot, hopping in one of these trees right here. And then that puts that apple tree, if they're on it, within 25 yards at the most. But anything in this food plot is going to be inside of 20 yards. So I am going to go grab the next tree, which is tree number 4, head over to my food plot turkey foot that I'm always talking about. I'm going to put one in the upper section of that and one in the lower section of that. And then that will be it for the trees. Really just excited to see how this works. It's all just a trial and error, see what works, see what doesn't. If these hold and they grow well and they do well, next year I'll add more. So as long as they survive and they don't get absolutely destroyed by the deer or other animals, which is my hope, that I will put in, double that next year and just continue to supply more food sources in more key locations across the property. So on to the next one. All right, in food plot number 2, the lower section, added in tree number 4. This is tree number 4. This is in the lower part of that where deer come out of this way. My mom is trying to not get in the video, and deer come from that way, and then eventually they go up this way right here, which I'll show. That path right here goes up and leads up into the upper section. We clipped a couple dead trees, that one, and 2 more down here out of the way, which actually ended up taking out a 3rd one anyways. Camera's there, mock scrape is there, and I'm gonna go get the last tree. Last tree is gonna go up in the upper section of food plot 2 where turkey foot is. So yeah, gonna go get that done. All right, here is tree number 5 right here. So I put this one in the food plot, the upper section of what I call turkey foot. Here is toe number 1, toe number 2, toe number 3. Cell cam's right there. I put this one over on this point. I like to hunt out of either right over here, right there, right here, or right here. All of which put that tree within 20 to 25 yards at the most. So perfect spot to have an apple tree and a food source. And again, this one is all clover plot. I just trimmed the tops off of this one a couple weeks ago. It is holding really well, getting a lot of bucks cruising through here, and lots of different access points from the deer. Again, kind of shape this to funnel everything into this upper section as they head out into the ag fields at night. So tree's going to stay there. There we have it right there. Tree number 5 is in.